Hey guys, Molly Taylor here at the Mag Garage, and today we're going to have a look at the quad lock roll cage mount, how to install it and where you might like to install it too. First things first, you're going to need a few tools, so make sure you've got an 8mm socket, a flathead screwdriver and a pair of scissors handy. First we want to unbox the roll cage mount. So once you've got the roll cage mount base out of the packet, make sure you don't throw these away. You can just read them and not listen to me, but also it does have a really handy trimming guide for these different hoses depending on what size you need. You can just use this guide to cut it easily, cut it right the first time. You'll also see that there's 2 hose clamps and also some protection sleeve. And then you have 2 different size hose clamps, again, just depending on where you're mounting it, what size hose clamp you need so you don't have a lot of extra. So I've measured up our roll cage bar that we're going to mount this on, and it's 52mm. So the next thing is to cut the rubber protection strap to size. And you can see here, because you didn't throw away the instructions, there's a really handy size guide here. So I'm going to use the 49 to 54mm guide and then cut into size. All right, now that's trimmed expertly to size, we can slide it back on and then it'll be ready to go in the car. So in the rally car, we're going to use the medium-sized dual pivot mount, and we're going to mount this before we put it in the car because it's a little bit tight for space in there. So for the rally car, we're going to use the action camera mount because it's just going to stay in one location. We're not going to need to take it in and out a lot. I'm not going to do this up super tight because I'm going to want to adjust it once I get in the car. So just a little bit so it's secure, and then we'll tighten it up once it's in place. So we're going to mount it in between the driver and the co-driver seat on the main hoop. We have to get a little bit creative space-wise in rally cars because it's a bit awkward to get in and out. And then I'm going to start using the screwdriver because that's just going to be a bit easier to access and get the bolt started. So I'm just going to put that into the final location I think we want, which is going to be about there. And then use the socket to do that up. That's not going anywhere. So now the next part is just to line up that camera to actually point out the window. And then using the pivot, we can get a good angle, make sure it's a bit more central. And then the last thing to do is just to tighten up that pivot so that's nice and secure. So I'm going to go grab the Allen key for that. Alrighty, so I have the Allen key from the pivot kit and just going to tighten up. Cool, there we go. Nice and secure and going to capture some good action hopefully. So now we've fitted it to the rally car, we're also going to show you how to switch it over to the smaller hose clamp if you've got a smaller bar that you want to mount. So first things first is taking off this cap. It's pretty tight, so the best way to do it is to just use a flathead screwdriver and just lever it off like that and it'll come off really easily. And then the second bit is you just want to pull off this little rubber slide down the bottom, which just slides out like that. That is much looser, so now you want to feed the whole hose clamp out of this top bracket. Pushing it through there to get the main bit out and then just feed the rest of the hose clamp out. So now putting on the smaller hose clamp, just feeding it in the reverse of how you took the bigger one out. So just feeding it through this hole and then making sure it comes back down this opening and then feed it all the way through and then that'll slot in there like that. And then to put the caps back on again, it's just the reverse of what you did. So firstly, this slider will just slide in the bottom like that. And then this will just click on like that and then just make sure you click it in firmly so it's fitted and sealed down the bottom. Ready to go. So there you have it, the quad lock roll cage base mounted and ready to rally. You can grab yours now at quadlockcase.net.